This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
(6:15). This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Dalmin Samarasinghe and read by Rumesh Piris. First, the headlines. 71,000 houses will be built to solve housing issues of rural communities. 390 large-scale development projects are being implemented this year. The remains of Mr. Priyantha Kumara Diyavadana brought to the country. The Colombo Archbishop condemns the killing of Sri Lankan in Pakistan. The new promotional programs will be implemented to uplift tourism industry. And in news overseas, a creator of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine warns future pandemics could be more lethal. And in sports, it's cricket. India wins second test against New Zealand in Mumbai to seal the series. And now the news in detail. The Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says 71,000 houses will be built to solve the housing issues of rural low-income recipients. He said government has planned to build those houses by 2024. The Prime Minister pointed out that the government expects to build 50,000 houses for people living in urban areas with minimum facilities. He said 14,083 houses out of that have been completed and handed over to the people. 21 town development plans have been completed. Another 52 town development plans are nearing completion. Apart from that, the Prime Minister said steps have been taken to implement another 136 town development plans. 117 cities have been selected to make them beautiful under 100 Cities program. Another 100 cities will be developed next year under the program. The government has taken steps to take forward Vistas of Prosperity program during the last 2 years amid the challenges. During the period, development activities have been disrupted due to the pandemic. However, the President's Media Center said government was able to implement 319 large-scale development projects by the second quarter of this year with an investment of 6,979 billion rupees. The remains of Mr. Priyantha Kumara Diyavadana, who was killed in Pakistan, have been brought to the country this afternoon by Sri Lankan Airlines. His funeral is scheduled to be held on Wednesday afternoon. The Colombo Archbishop, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, says he vehemently condemned the barbaric killing of Mr. Priyantha Kumara Diyavadana in Pakistan. Issuing a condolence message, the Cardinal said he was shocked and deeply saddened to hear the killing. The Cardinal has expressed his condolence to the family and relatives and said he would pray for them. Expenditure accounts of Ministries of Urban Development, Housing and Tourism and related state ministries were passed in Parliament today. The opposition members did not take part in the debate today. Therefore, Parliament was adjourned at 12:30 p.m. Taking part in the debate, Minister Prasanna Ranatunga said tourism industry made airlines stronger. He said tourism industry will be developed through new programs. State Minister D.V. Chanaka said tourism industry, which had a growth of 20% annually, faced a setback of 40% following the Easter Sunday attack. He said the country lost a huge income since the previous government had disrupted developments of airports. State Minister Dr. Nalaka Godeheva said urban areas will be developed as expected by the people. State Minister Mohan De Silva said steps are being taken to protect the coastal belt. State Minister Indika Anuruddha, taking part in the debate, said then Minister used the resources of the Housing Ministry for his political gains. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Sri Lanka Insurance Motor Plus, the best option.
The Foreign Minister Professor G.L. Piris and Minister of External Affairs of India, Dr. S. Jaishankar, discussed bilateral relations between Sri Lanka and India on the sidelines of the 5th Indian Ocean Conference in Abu Dhabi. The Foreign Minister said cooperation in the economic sector, cultural as well as people-to-people initiatives and joint initiatives in regional organizations form the main subject matter of the discussion. The Colombo High Court trial at bar ordered to release several accused, including former Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake, Central Bank former Governor Arjuna Mahendran, and 11 charges out of 22 in connection with the Central Bank bond auction held on March 31st, 2016. The Colombo High Court trial at bar held that public property charges against the accused cannot be maintained against the accused. Accordingly, the court ordered to release the accused from 11 charges. State Minister Roshan Ranasinghe says that Parliament Consultative Committee on Local Government Administration so far has not called Chief Secretaries and Local Government Commissioners. He pointed out that shortcomings in local government administration are discussed at the committee. He said officials of the central government, provincial councils and local government bodies meet at the committee. Therefore, the State Minister said a decision has been taken to call Chief Secretaries and Local Government Commissioners to the Consultative Committee. He said governors and chief ministers should also be summoned to the meeting. Adnan Malik, a colleague of Sialkot factory manager Priyantha Kumar, has been saluted for his moral courage and bravery to try to rescue the Sri Lankan from the mob. In recognition of demonstrating exemplary bravery, Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan has announced a Medal of Bravery for Adnan Malik after heartening footage came to the fore showing him trying to protect his colleague. The Gujranwala Anti-Terrorism Court has remanded 26 suspects arrested for their central role in lynching Sri Lankan national Priyantha Kumar into custody for 15 days. It was observed that the ages of all the suspects were less than 25 years. On a request today from police, the court granted authorities 15 days to question the accused men. They have been summoned again on December 21st. The total number of arrests in the case has increased to 131. Janata Vimukti Peramuna says security of all Sri Lankans in Pakistan should be ensured. It said the government has a major role to play in that regard. During a media briefing in Colombo today, JVP leader Anura Kumara Desanayake said all of them should be recalled if their security cannot be ensured. He further said global community should come together to defeat terrorism. And that concludes local news.
In 200 meters, turn left.
This is not just my daily commute. I drive to power my nation's future.
Sri Lanka Insurance Motor Plus introduces specialized motor insurance for you who drive our nation forward. Choose tailor-made insurance solutions. Up to 75,000 rupees claim settlements within 3 working hours. Exclusive discounts through Motor Plus loyalty rewards. Easy and 0% interest payment plans.
Only from Sri Lanka Insurance.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
On to the main news story. The leader of the House, Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, says the Speaker's order should prevail in Parliament and it is a role of the Speaker to examine whether it is true or not when a complaint is made. He said there is no Parliament tradition where members can give the final decision. Minister Gunawardena mentioned this in Parliament today in connection with incidents that took place in Parliament on Friday and Saturday. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
Tertiary and Vocational Education Commission.
Litrogas Lanka Limited has commenced the distribution of domestic LP gas cylinders conforming to the requirements of the Consumer Affairs Authority. The Consumer Affairs Authority said the new stock of LP gas cylinders can be identified by the polythene seal that will carry a red logo on a white background. And that came to you in Watchlight. A bulletin of world news is up next.
Be aware before you follow any vocational course. When you select a training institute, check and verify its registration and course accreditation by Tertiary and Vocational Education Commission (TVEC) without wasting your valuable time and money. Visit and meet skills development officers or career guidance practitioners. Visit www.tvec.gov.lk for more information. Message from Tertiary and Vocational Education Commission.
Coming up, World News.
Moving on to a bulletin of world news. First, the headlines. A creator of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine warns future pandemics could be more lethal. Myanmar court sentences ousted leader Aung Sansuchi to 4 years in jail. Solomon Islands Prime Minister survives no confidence vote after unrest. And now the world news in detail. One of the creators of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine has warned future pandemics could be more lethal than the current COVID crisis. Professor Dame Sarah Gilbert said there needed to be more funding for pandemic preparedness to prevent the advances made from being lost. She also warned vaccines could be less effective against the Omicron variant. Dame Sarah added that people should be cautious until more was known about it. Ousted Myanmar leader Aung San Suu Kyi has been sentenced to 4 years in prison, the first in a series of verdicts that could jail her for life. She was found guilty on charges of inciting dissent and breaking COVID rules under natural disasters law. Ms. Suu Kyi faced 11 charges in total, which have been widely condemned as unjust. She has denied all charges. She has been under house arrest since a military coup in February, which toppled a elected civilian government. Solomon Islands Prime Minister Manasseh Sogavare survived a no-confidence vote today as lawmakers overwhelmingly voted to keep him in power. It comes just more than a week after riots rocked the Pacific Island nation for 3 consecutive days. Riots were fueled by discontent over Mr. Sogavare's decision to switch relations from Taiwan to China in 2019. The opposition leader Matthew Vale filed the motion in recognition of the anger on long-standing political issues. Back to the headlines of the world news. A creator of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine warns future pandemics could be more lethal. Myanmar court sentence ousted leader Aung San Suu Kyi to 4 years in jail. Solomon Islands Prime Minister survives no confidence vote after unrest. And that concludes World News.
Development News is brought to you by Let's take coal out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Browns Investment PLC, the strategic investment arm of LOLC Group, has secured leasehold rights of additional 2 prime land blocks in Colombo Port City for $98 million to undertake the development of the marina and a hotel project adjoining the earlier secured Colombo International Finance Center project. The 2 land plots are most likely to be developed in partnership with foreign parties. And that was Development News.
Development News was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Moving on with sports news.
In sports, it's cricket. The second match of the Lanka Premier League between Dambulla Giants and Kandy Warriors was played at R. Premadasa International Stadium in Colombo. Dambulla Giants chose to bat first and they scored 190 for 7 wickets in 20 overs. India wrapped up a crushing 372-run win over New Zealand with 5 sessions to spare in the second test to complete a 1-0 series victory. Receiving on 140 for 5 in pursuit of a nominal 540 in Mumbai, New Zealand were bowled out for 167 as the last 5 wickets fell for 5 runs in 30 balls. Jayant Yadav, playing his first test since 2017, took 4 wickets today to finish with 4 for 49, while fellow off-spinner Ravichandran Ashwin claimed 4 for 34 and a remarkable 8 for 42 in the match. And finally, the 5th Ashes Test between Australia and England will no longer be played in Perth because of COVID-19 restrictions. Western Australia has a 14-day quarantine rule and Perth's Optus Stadium was set to host the final test from 14th January. The 4th test take place in Sydney between 4th to 9th in January. Discussions about a replacement venue are underway with Melbourne, Sydney, Canberra and Hobart the possible options. And that's sports news.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 Go sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency through NSB U-Trust for 6 months consecutively. Send more money and increase the chances of winning.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Nestle Health Science launched its latest product, Nestle Boost Original, a nutritional food drink which helps older adults to get nutrition they need as part of a balanced diet to lead a healthy and an active lifestyle. Nestle Boost Original contains protein to help maintain muscle strength and 16 vitamins and minerals including vitamin C, D, zinc and iron to help support immunity. It is also a low-fat product and has a low glycemic index. And that was Business News. Economic News is up next.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 Go sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners.
Economic News, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The tea board chairman, Jampati Molliguru, said despite many obstacles, the country has achieved tea export revenue of $1.2 billion till the end of November. He expressed optimism that tea exporters would in the end of the year be able to achieve a target of $1.3 billion tea export revenue. In rupee terms, they have already achieved 242 billion rupees. He said this rupee figure was significant because that is what trickles down right up from the farmers. And that was Economic News. The weather report is up next.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
This is the weather report.
And finally, on to the weather report. The Met Department says showers or thunder showers will occur at few places in the western, Sabaragamuwa and central provinces and Gaul and Mathura districts during the evening or night. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the Sabaragamuwa, central and Uva provinces during the morning. And that was the weather report. And to end this news broadcast, a recap of the main news headlines. 71,000 houses will be built to solve housing issues of rural communities. 319 large-scale development projects are being implemented this year. The remains of Mr. Priyantha Kumar Diyavadana brought to the country. The Colombo Archbishop condemns the killings of Sri Lankan in Pakistan. The new promotional programs will be implemented to uplift tourism industry. And in news overseas, a creator of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine warns future pandemics could be more lethal. And in sports, it's cricket. India wins second test against New Zealand in Mumbai to seal the series. And that concludes this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.